Steps I Took podcast, back in the building.
You know I want to say back at it again, Daniel, now. Now we're just speaking about it.
Yeah.
Now you know what I'm talking about. Happy to be back in Dubai.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've been travelling, right?
Yeah, again. But I'm staying on the ground now for a while.
Good.
Staying put.
So that means we can get more sessions in, more great guests on the podcast.
Exactly. More stories to be told. Hear about all of the steps everybody's been taking.
Yeah, because this is the podcast in Dubai that gets people on the show to share their journey, the stories, the steps they've taken towards greatness.
And we draw the wisdom out of all their steps.
Yeah, extract it. And today's guest, I'm excited to have on the show because I feel like he's got his finger in like so many pies. Like literally there's an event on and I'm like, oh, who's behind that? And it's this guy.
Yeah.
I'm an Arsenal fan. You know, I go watch the Arsenal football in the Arsenal fan zone, and who runs it? It's this guy.
Yeah.
I go to watch the World Cup in the fan zone. Who's organised it? It's this guy. And not only that, he's also obviously, you know, doing things in Dubai, in F1, Abu Dhabi. He's a friend of mine, but also sometimes a rival. But at the same time, it's a friendly rivalry, you know. So
healthy competition.
You know, yeah. So welcome to the podcast, Kieran, my bro.
Thank you. Firstly, we're not rivals because I always turn up on time. You're late to the party.
I'll let you have that one, Don't worry. I'm going to get you, when you least expect it in the podcast, I've got something for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I look forward to it. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for having me on. I know it's taken a few months to pin me down, but I'm looking forward to getting at it. And I've seen all your podcasts with other people. Obviously, some great people being on, and some good friends of ours as well in the circle, but really, really good. Love what you're doing, so keep it up. It's great to have a good, cool podcast out there with people that I've got a lot of respect for. So yeah,
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And even forgot in the intro to mention that. See, that felt like your radio voice. He's recently got his show on Pure Ibiza, which, you know, so I can see you've like added more strings to your bow as well.
Yeah, like you didn't have enough.
No, I know. I always get told, Kieran, do you really need to take on any more? But I just love it. I do anything to do with this industry. If it's an opportunity to grow or learn something new or work with somebody that I think is better than me or that I can learn from, I just dive straight in and go, come on, let's take it on.
I absolutely love your hunger to learn. And I want to get into all of it. But before we start, we have a tradition on our pod, and that is to ask everyone, what has been the highlight or one great thing that's happened in the last 7 days of your life?
Last 7 days?
Yeah.
Got to be buying my new car, I suppose. I said last year I set myself goals. Obviously, everyone writes their goals start of the year. Write my goals down in December, what for 2025. I've got a big list this year, some really big ones, a few personal ones. One of them was get rid of the car. I think anyone that knows me personally, I held on to my range till it's literally falling apart. I'm one of them, if it's not broken, don't change it. But I literally was like, look, I need a new car this time. So yeah, I just picked up a new car a couple of days ago. So very proud of that one.
What did you get?
I just saw him pulling up as well. You look very slick.
Yeah, I just got a BMW X5, but I did my little touches to it. I blacked it all out.
Nice.
So if you see me rolling down the streets,
That's a family car, yeah?
no, it's not a family car. It's an X5 M Sport. Right? It's a boy's car. It's a beast.
Yeah. We've room for little ones, yeah. But it's always good to kind of, go back to the beginning. Obviously, we know that you're doing so much in Dubai.
Yeah.
But at one point you went in Dubai, you was in the UK. What was life like for you as a kid? Where did you grow up?
Cool. Long time ago. I've been here 15 years, so I've pretty much had my whole adult life in Dubai. But back home, I'm from a small town in between, a village actually called Crawley Down, in between Crawley and East Grinstead, near Gatwick, if anyone doesn't know that area. Come from a really big family. Family's massive for where I'm from. Like literally, I've got like 13 cousins from my dad's side. My dad's one of 5. My mum's side, I'm big. Like we're a big family, really. Everything. They all live literally within a 5-minute radius of each other. It's one of them kind of families. So me living over here is completely different. I think I'm the only one that lives in another country out of the whole family. So really big family community. Been brought up really well by mum and dad's, like really close with my mum on a load of different things, music and the passion for the industry and loads of different stuff really. But growing up at school, whether you believe it or not, I was actually very, very shy, to the point my mum and dad were quite worried about me because I was one of these kids that kept myself to myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it really was. And then something just came out of me. There was obviously something inside me that wanted to be this big, bold ego, that I've got this confidence but didn't know how to show it. I think that really predominantly came out more when I started going out and meeting people and partying and stuff like that. That kind of changed my personality quite a bit and brought out the confidence in me to do different things. But my background back in the UK, ever since a young age, has always been that hospitality. Like literally, I was a pot cleaner at 13, working in a restaurant.
A pot cleaner.
Yeah, literally cleaning dishes. Literally, I just wanted to be around that environment. My first adult job was working in the bar, but at 17. I'll never forget that. Of my first bar job, working at 17. All my mates came in to celebrate my 18th birthday, and I've been working there 6 months. I was like, mate, you could have got me shut down.
So as a young one, being in the hospitality industry, like I've been a kitchen bitch, washing up, giving out the full Englishes, even when you're hungover, when you're younger than you should have been. But like, it's one thing cleaning the dishes, working on the bar. I've also worked on a bar. I felt like I needed quite a high level of confidence while I was working on the bar and being in the nightlife. So how did you?
And that's what I'm
balance
saying.
that?
I think that when I started obviously going out and being out of this shell that I was in before, like say like from under 13, I was quite what's the word I want, like quite timid. And then obviously I started meeting different people, and because I come from such a big family, when like I used to go over in the summer holidays and spend time with my cousins, and they're like everyone knows them, and then you kind of like you either be that quiet one in the corner, or you have to adapt. So I think having a big family brought me out my shell when I spent a bit more time with my cousins and going out and getting up to all sorts.
Yeah.
So would you say like you kind of started off as an introvert and grew
Yeah,
into
massive
an extrovert?
introvert. Yeah, massive introvert. I think obviously, I think every child kind of goes through it until they kind of find who they want to be as well. So yeah, big introvert. Went through a bit of bullying when I was younger, proper at school. From like I said, under 13, it was pretty terrible, to be honest. My dad was like, I'm not ever my son being bullied. Right, we're going running. We're going to learn. My dad did judo, all this. He's like, right, if someone does this, you do this. Just chop them in the throat and run. But yeah, you come from a big family. You have to just learn to be part of that. So I think that brought me out of my shell. Always had a big passion for singing as well.
You
So
can
I've-
sing.
Yeah, I didn't believe that.
Not anymore. Terrible now. But back when I was younger, I did loads of stuff. I can't remember his.
Now come down to Garden on 8, like after a couple of beers, like you singing all the time, man.
But yeah, like I did loads of singing competitions when I was younger. My missus is going to hate me for saying this, but I went on X Factor and all this kind of
What?
stuff.
Really?
Is that online?
Somewhere. Somewhere around 2008, 2009.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out.
Yeah. We're gonna
Have to
dig that
find
one out,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, like, I just love the industry, but I never really threw everything at it. I'm a qualified plumber by trade. So I did a plumbing apprenticeship when I left school because my whole family are tradesmen. So my dad was like, right, son, you're going to be in the tradesman. I'm like, well, what's that be? He's like, well, your uncle's a sparky, your other uncle's a builder, your cousin's a chippy, your uncle's a mechanic. Be a plumber. There's no plumbers in the family. So I went and done my plumbing apprenticeship, qualified, literally. There you go, that done. I said, I've quit. And he went, what do you mean? I went, I'm going to work for Barclays. Well, I went to work for Barclays doing sales, and then I did sales up until I moved to Dubai. I worked for Canon in Reigate, doing stuff with them. And then obviously the world went to shit. The world crumbled, didn't it? The crisis, 2008. They sacked people, let everyone go, not sacked everyone, let everyone go, shut the sales team. And I was literally Googling online, and I was like, sales jobs abroad. And anyone that's been here a long time probably knows a company called De Vere, financial services guys. I went up to Heathrow, sat in this big conference. There's about 300 young lads there, all being sold a dream. You'll be a millionaire by 30. I was like, take my money. Came over at commission only, 10 grand in the pocket, and never looked back. And that was the start of the Dubai journey.
How did you feel like taking a job commission only?
I just wanted to get out of the UK. So for me, I was sold a dream. They tell you obviously who earns the most money. So I can't remember his name. I think it was Chris or Craig or something. He done like £1.3 million that year, like in 2008 or whatever it was. So they were like, yeah, this can be you. Obviously, I'm 23. I'm like, amazing, go and live in Dubai. They offered me 2 jobs. One was in Moscow and one was here. So I said to my family, my uncle was like, what are you even asking the question for? Do you want to freeze your bollocks off, or do you want to go live in the sun? I was like, I'll go live in the sun. And my Uncle Stuart actually had been here quite a few times on holiday, staying at Jumeirah Beach Hotel and Burj Al Arab and all this. And he's like, mate, you love it. Like, just go. But it was weird for a 23-year-old back then. In 2009, I came over here. A lot of my long-term friends are all like 5, 6, 7, 10 years older than me.
Were you scared, like coming over at 23?
No, I was more excited. I didn't know what to expect. Do you know what I mean? It was just like, it was a whole journey. But I came here with the mindset, I'll give it 3 months. I had a flight booked for Christmas. And I loved it. I just literally went home that Christmas. It's my dad, I'm going back on 2nd of January, and that's me done. And I'll set my life up out there. So I stayed with De Vere for a bit, left them, went and worked for another financial services company, but a different kind of role, more on the recruitment side of it, so bringing over people, which was quite fun.
So you didn't get the 1.3 million?
No, I didn't get the 1.3 million.
Did
no.
we get close?
But it's
or?
very it gets you excited because like I remember the biggest paycheck I got was like £8,500 or £9,000. You get paid weekly, and it came in literally on the week of my birthday, and that's that. Like again, it's like gambling. You're chasing that win. You get that win. You're like, oh, maybe there's another win. So then you stay a little bit longer. And I was like, I'm just flogging a dead horse here. It's just really not for me. Commission only. It was boiler room style as well. You had to stand up, power hours. If you had a pocket on your shirt, they'd rip it off. If you came in with a shit tie, they'd cut it off. Oh, mate, it was gruesome. Spencer Lodge is going to probably watch this as well, and that's the guy I'm talking about. So, yeah, when he watches this come on my Instagram, he'll probably have a laugh. But it was ruthless back then. It was proper like old school hardcore
So
sales.
it's not for everyone. Did you see a lot of people come and go?
Oh, come and go. It was like a conveyor belt. It was like, don't make friends with people because they're going to be here in 3 months. And it's funny, we have a lot of conversations with people that I did my training with that are still here now, whether they've stuck at it or they've moved into different things. But we always have a laugh and go, you know what, it was a foundation. It was a door open to get you into an opportunity to build your own life. Some worked, some didn't. I got mates that stuck at it and they're making millions now. They're having a great life, but it's not for everyone. It's the same as any industry.
Yeah.
The top 10% do the big boy money. The other 90% just get by.
Yeah.
So
So then
what-
what happened like after? You obviously...
So I did that, like I said, went and worked for this other company doing the recruitment side of it, which was cool. So I got to travel back to the UK every 3 months and do seminars. Basically, my job was to sell them the dream. So I went round literally.
Did you let them know that you were also sold this dream at first?
No, of course not. I had to get bums on seats.
Did you get like commission for people that you managed
Yeah,
to...
you bring them over
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. So we brought them over. So we travelled around to the whole of UK, London, Manchester, Liverpool, Newcastle, Glasgow, 5 roadshow, booked it all in, sold them a dream, fly them over, train them up. Some done really well, some obviously didn't, same thing. And then I was just like, this is just, again, it's just not, I just don't, you know, you just got to go look at what do I want the end goal to be. Then I went into financial services recruitment and insurance with my mate Tony. Done that for a bit. Really, really good. Loved it, smashed it. But it's just something wasn't right. Just, you know, you just think I'm missing something. So then I set up a small media agency with a friend of mine, Basil, who's now in Saudi, called Inception Media. So we did that for a while.
What made you want to pivot into media?
Just, again, I just love creative. Anything creative, I just fascinates me. Like watching someone make a promo video or someone making a graphic design, or it's all part of the process. Do you know what I mean? Like I do events, but I like the process of not just the finished products of people being at the event, but the marketing strategy that goes behind it. It's all interesting. I love it. I love like, okay, how do you write a storyboard? How do you then you see that final cut? Anything from something that's a blank canvas to seeing the end of it, that really, really excites me because I'm a creative person. Anything that involves creativity keeps me engaged because I've got an attention span of a gnat. So like, it's like I could not do a 9 to 5 repetitive thing, the same thing. I think that's obviously why I struggle with the sales because you're literally 200 phone calls a day saying the same script over and over, and it's just like nah. And what we do now, every day I wake up and do something completely different. So it's just kind of led from there. So yeah, Inception was a small business, didn't really work out just because the market was so competitive with all that kind of stuff. You're getting undercut by Indian companies doing flyers for 20 dirhams when you're trying, and your social media campaigns, you're charging 15, they're charging 3. Like it's a very, very tough market. Anyone that does it, I respect them because it is really, really tough. And it's got harder now with all these tools that are out there. And then from there...
What made you make the decision to be like, do you know what, this isn't our bag? Because there's so many entrepreneurs, whether it's in media or whatever it is that they're starting, they're like, it's hard to know when enough is enough, and actually that's not for me.
Yeah, look, they always say never be afraid to quit, yeah? But it's not about... They say you should never quit, but it's about knowing when to quit. It's got to have that balance, yeah? You should always know where that pinnacle point is, where you're not giving up too soon and you're classed as a quitter, but you're giving up because you know it's the right reasons. And it is hard, especially when you're setting up businesses. It's really, really hard to make that decision. But yeah, I was just said to him, look, we're just flogging a dead horse here. But we had some good times. I remember our first ever meeting ever meeting, our first client meeting. We met this client. I can't remember who it was. We've sat in there and they're like, okay, so introduce yourselves. We were like, blah, 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 blah. Like, this is what we do. Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, okay, amazing. And then he was like, can you do this? I was like, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, do that. Yeah, cool. And he's like, can you do that? I'm like, yeah, we could do that. We walked out there. We basically just told him we could do 15 different services. I was like, Basil, we've just told him we make apps, we do websites, we do videography, photography, social media, content. He went, we'll figure it out. I was like, we can't.
We've gone
just
too
sold this
far.
man a dream here on our first meeting. It makes you laugh. These are all things you learn from.
Bringing in the old skills.
It's funny though, isn't it? You want that first client. You're like, no worries. I can cook, I can bake, I can clean.
Wash the car, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we just come a whole different service. We're meant to literally just do social media and marketing, but
That's what happens sometimes, though. I feel like, and in one place where you can kind of, I guess, blag it almost is Dubai.
Yeah.
You know, like whether you're, you know, like with what you're doing in events and stuff, I'm sure there's been, you know, clients that you've secured off the back of perhaps you might not even been involved in another project, but or might have taken a smaller role, but you've added that to your CV and used that to leverage, you know?
yeah, of course. Like, you mean, and we'll obviously cover more of it later on, but my personal brand, where I get involved in a lot of these other bigger projects, which is me, is Kieran, with my experience, yeah, of course you're going to use that and say, this is obviously the experience that we bring together as Be More Than, because it doesn't matter. In the day, it's the experience that I've learned. So I've taken knowledge from that product. I've learned everything about it, which can benefit you as a client. Doesn't matter how the wrapping of it was delivered at the end of the day.
So was this media agency, was that before or after G-List Entertainment?
I was waiting for you to come up with that. I didn't even put that in the notes either.
I'm trying to think, is like, obviously G-List, the first thing that comes to mind is guest list, but
Yeah.
but I'm partly thinking, are you like, is that like gangster list or like what?
Yeah, it was meant to be G-List abbreviated for guest list, yeah. So that was my first ever like proper events brand, which was a good pinnacle as well, because the reason I started that was I knew I wanted to get into the event side, obviously through doing the media. Basil helped me do all the branding for it. We created the first ever boat party from there. So
In Dubai,
first ever proper boat party.
What year was that?
2013, I think that was.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was around 2013 on the Goo Goo boat when it first came to Dubai.
the Goo Goo.
Yeah, it was with a guy called Scott, and the party was called Satisfaction. Terrible name, but it was.
Was it satisfactory or not?
It was good. It was good. We had a couple of really good events. And then Jack and Andre, obviously, were doing Sunstroke then as well, so that came out around the same time. So we were all mates, working with each other, alternating. Then I brought Posh Funk over, so I was working with Steps. Brought Posh Funk over. We did a couple of different things. We had a brand called West End. We did Posh Funk. We did another house and garage brands. There was loads of little things we were doing. So we did the Posh Funk boat parties. We did Mavida. We did some stuff at Mahiki.
So you were like,
We had Cherry Jam.
Mahiki.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
We had Cherry Jam at Pasha.
okay.
Remember the
Yeah,
the rooftop.
Yeah.
So we did that. So that was all under G List.
So you were like, I guess, the first in this region to kind of bring what, you know, happens in Europe quite a lot out here.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say the first. There's obviously other promoters who are doing stuff. I mean, Kit was in before me doing all the garage stuff and things like that. But it wasn't big. Do you know what I mean? When I came in 2009, you literally had like the Yacht Club, Barasti, Chi at the Lodge. Like there was literally a handful of clubs. Yeah, there wasn't much to choose from, so it was a lot easier because all the expats just stayed together. So I just looked at gaps and go, okay, well, what can I do to different? Like, I mean, like doing the ladies' nights, for example, they were just starting out then and looking at different concepts like a brunch. I remember creating, I'll have to send you some of this stuff. It's hilarious. I was actually going for it the other day, Facebook page. I created a brunch at Pier 7 when it first opened at the Mexican restaurant, and the flyer, I need to find it. It's horrendous. It's so bad. It's literally... it was Loca brunch or something. It was like a sunset, and it was black with like the Mexican colours in it, and it just had a big taco on the middle. And I was like, I look at it now, I was like, it looked like I made it on paint.
But
It
did
was
people
terrible.
come?
No. I did a couple. I think we lasted 4 or 5 weeks, and I was just like, yeah, it was just different back then. But it's all learning curves. It's all fun. Like you look back at it and go, wow, look where I've come from. I've come from doing a terrible brunch concept to doing football fan zones with 15,000 people. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
But you start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You've got to start somewhere, and you have to fail, and you have to learn, and that's the biggest things I've done.
Yeah. What would you, you know, on that topic of failing, I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about the more times you fail, the more chance you have of succeeding.
Every day's a school day.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say is like your most notable failure in Dubai?
There's been a few lessons learned. The biggest failure I'd probably say trying to grow Be More Than too quick at the start. I focused too much on trying to prove a point to other people, to ex-partners and ex-relationships and friends and all this kind of stuff, that I could do this on my own at a big scale. So you do the natural thing, set up Be More Than, because obviously I had love parties before, remember? With Ben. Me and him unfortunately fell out, parted ways. He brought me out in the January of 2020. COVID obviously happened, and then obviously I set up Be More Than during COVID and launched it in the August.
So sorry, there was G-List,
then Love Parties.
then Love Parties, now Be More.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Parties was a good project. That was for 3 years. We had that from 2016 to 2019. We smashed it. We were probably the biggest brunch promoter out there. We had 5 weekly brunches. We were doing the ladies' nights at Mahiki. I'd got the guys into the Formula One. We were doing good. Obviously, this was before the secret parties popped out, the Candy Pantses and all the other brunches that have come about since then. So we've done really, really well. We were smashing out weekly stuff at Hidden, at Taj. We had the Wee brunch, stage brunch. I mean, it was good stuff. But
because I think I came to Dubai towards the tail end of that.
Yeah.
And then because actually I don't think I've even told you this. I think after you sold it, when because obviously Nana knew that I was like about to launch at the time Old School Brunch or whatever, and they actually approached me to like buy into it, to, you know, I think they saw it as like, oh, this could potentially be something that competes, let's try and get it under the branch or whatever. So that's quite interesting to know that you started Love.
So Ben started the brand Love Parties. He did a couple of things like Love Boat, and then he did Love Brunch, and then he came in and was like, right, I need you to come in and run the whole thing for me. So we went 50-50 on a partnership, and it was amazing. It was a good experience. We smashed it, made some amazing memories, made a lot of good cash during that time. But yeah, unfortunately, and if he listens to this, it's not a dig, but money ruins people sometimes, and it kind of ruined our friendship. We've made up since then. Do you know what I mean? It's water under a bridge, but it gave me the opportunity to go where I wanted to go. I've always wanted to be bigger than just brunches anyway. I wanted to get into the corporate events and the activations and all this, and that's why Be More Than obviously then came about. But yeah, going back to the question of the failure, I think the biggest thing was, like I said, I focused too much on trying to prove a point rather than focus on the business. So you did the standard thing, recruited a load of staff, got an office, tried to make it this big shiny thing, took on 10,000 different events, going, haha, look at me, you know what I mean? I've got my 7 weekly events now, I've got my own office, I've got my 5 members of staff. And you just all you end up doing is just basically, and that, COVID was still on then, yeah?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We launched on the 1st of August, the whole world came back, remember, it was amazing. And then they did the second shutdown, didn't they, on the 1st of February. And that hit me harder than the first COVID, because the first COVID, I was sat at home chilling, making my business.
Yeah.
I built all this company up. And then on the 1st of February, they were like, no more events, back to COVID times again, all the way through till the Euros was on that June. Yeah. I remember, because I thought the Euros were going to happen. So that really, really killed me a lot. That hurt me a lot.
So when you decided to build Be More, because you were doing a massive, basically, fuck you to everybody, did you then go out and get investment to make sure that you could get all of these?
No, I funded it all myself.
So then when you got hit, then that's all of your own money, your cash flow gone.
Yeah.
Did you have to make redundancies then in that time?
Yeah,
or?
well, that's the thing, because then you start making mistakes and cutting corners to try and pay staff and all this kind of stuff, because you got all these big staff bills and office costs and all this, and you're like, the events are on pause, the money's coming in. So yeah, it's like you're switching and changing. I went through probably a 12-month period of that business where I look at it and go, I've never learned so much about this industry and myself as a person. Through you're panicking, do you know what I mean? And there'd be people that, if they look at this, you know what I mean, I lost a couple of friends over it that came on, and just because of the way I was running the business at the time and made mistakes, and it's hard pill to swallow, because you know what I mean, the first thing you do when you bring a business, you go to the people you know. Oh, you're good at that, I'll recruit you. You're good at that, I'll recruit you. Also learned don't work with friends. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that working with friends is a very fine line between breaking that friendship. So yeah, it was juggling too many things at the same time. Fell flat on my ass, lost a lot of money, And then I tried to move into going to the big boy league of booking all the artists, not big super artists, obviously, but like I was throwing money at artists, like booking when I did a bar, I took it to P7, lost 70 grand in one night. Just stupid things. Dirhams, but
That's still a lot of
it's still,
money.
it's still
still,
hard pills
yeah.
to swallow. Do you know what I mean? But it's like it's just silly manoeuvres you do because you're trying to prove a point. And then I sat back and I was like, you know what? Pointing to prove yourself. Like you got a goal, you got a vision that you want this company to get to. Take a step back. So I took a really bold move. 2000, I think it was around 2000. September 23. Took a bold move. And just basically I'm going to do this on my own for a minute. So I stripped back the whole team to basically zero, kept the 3 freelancers on board and refocused on the actual dream of it. Do you know what I mean? Event by event, brand by brands, division by division to get where it has been now. And it really worked well. Like the company actually, and this isn't an insult to anyone that worked for me at all because you all play the key part, but the company actually elevated so much quicker when it was just me running it on my own because I knew how to run it all. Now we've got in with all these big stuff, working with the Get going to do the Fan Zone, the Dubai World Cup, doing the Formula One. I worked with big brands on corporate side. We launched the family side of the business, and I did that all on my own. Obviously, I had the freelancers that were doing the execution, but I managed to build that all without a team behind me because I could just focus on me. Wasn't worrying about how do I pay that person's salary anymore, how do I keep them happy, spending time telling people how to do their job. That's the hardest thing about running a business is you spend most of your time talking to your staff, which that is another thing that I've learned.
It doesn't help you to grow the actual
because
business.
then all I do is rather than me doing business development, finding projects, I'm sitting there going, actually, no, I want it like that, I want it like that. And I know I'm anal. You know, it works for me. I'm very picky. You know what I mean? Although a few people at work go, yeah, he's definitely hard work. But it's just, when it's your brand, you have a vision.
Yeah.
What was that period like where you went from, I guess, being, because I know how it's like, the life of the party, your phone, all these cool bunches on, popular bunches, and then, COVID comes and like, do you find that there's a difference in terms of your friendships or like your social status?
Yeah, look, I think everybody in the world, it's not just me, I think everybody in the world realised who the most important people are to you when COVID happened. Yeah, because the ones that picked up the phone, checked on you, made sure you're okay, the ones you got on a Zoom call, the ones you've done the quiz nights with, you know what I mean, the ones that you've done social distancing lunches with, organised to go to the supermarket just so you could see them, do you know what I mean? They're your people, and they're the ones that you need to look after, and that was the thing. I've always been a bad trait of mine, very bad trait of mine. Always try and make everyone happy. Always want to be a people pleaser. Got myself in a lot of trouble when I was in the UK doing that, trying to be everybody's friend, yeah, and you realise that when you're not doing those things, those people, they're not actually real friends, they're just using you. And events is very much like that. When you do events, everyone is hitting your phone up when you've got something to sell. If you've got something they don't care about, it's very, very lonely. And COVID was like that. My phone went from 3 phones ringing it all at once to literally my personal phone with my 5 mates and my family just dropping me lines, do you know what I mean, checking in. And it was really, really tough. It's quite hard to be a big social butterfly to then stuck in a room on your own. I also went for a breakup as well at the same time. So then I was literally on my own in an apartment. And it drove me stir crazy at one point. I got COVID. It sent me loopy. Like, it was a weird time. But it made me come out so much stronger because I was like, hey, don't ask me for guest this no more, mate.
I want to say, it sounds like, because the Kieran that I know
man.
now, like, I can't imagine that Kieran from back there that was, like I know for a fact now, like if it's, McGettigan's Fan Zone and there's an event on and if your phone's blown up, I know you will look at the phone and be like, oh, that's X calling, put my phone back in my pocket, I'm in my zone kind of thing. So it seems like you've now detached emotionally from, like actually this is work, and at the same time, like if they actually are your friend or something like that, then they would support what you're doing and or have organised in advance, not like in the 11th hour when you're like super stressed out.
Yeah, look, I think I can confidently say that a lot of people in Dubai know that I would do anything to try and help people out. If you ring me up and you say I need something, I'll find it. Do you know what I mean? I've got
You were just helping me before.
Yeah.
With my issues at the moment in terms of events and like my struggles, I'll just put it out there on the plate and you gave me a solution like instantaneously. I was like, oh, this is great. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, like I love helping people, I do, but it also comes to a point where like now I have a strategy in my head. If I've got an event, you want to come for free, there's my flyer. share it, tag it. It takes you 2 seconds. No problem. You've done something for me. Like, scratch my back a little bit. Like, this is my business. I don't come into your recruitment company and go, can you give me some free staff? I'll come to your real estate company, go find me an apartment, but don't charge me your commission.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it's true.
It's like we're all here to make money, but help each other.
Yeah.
Cost me nothing to let you in for free. If anything, it helps me out because you're spending money at the bar. Do you know what I mean? But it's the principles. Like, just think, this is our business kind of
A lot of people do want something for nothing.
Always, especially over here.
Yeah.
Like we're spoiled. Like I have friends that come over and they can't believe how much stuff is like free. And no insult to you, but the amount of free shit girls get. Do you know what I mean? It's like now they don't want to come out.
Not the same as like back when I first came here. Though. It's 2016. A ladies' night meant you come in for free.
Yeah,
Pier
you drink
7.
for free. Yeah.
Come in, go to the bar, go to one bar, especially Pier 7. 3 free drinks tokens. Go up a floor. Another 3. Another 3. Now it's like, oh, ladies' night, 200 dirhams. I'm like, what?
But
ladies' night is free.
But like now, venues are paying people to bring ladies.
They've been doing that.
No, but like
it's always been about.
But when I first came to Dubai, it was like, you know, it was okay. Girls can come for free, etc. We need to make it look, you know, busy, etc. Whereas now venues are actually like there are businesses in Dubai that, you know, make loads of money, and their business model is plug the venue with 10 girls, plug this venue with 10 girls. And
I mean, it makes sense because now there's even more competition. Like what you were saying back when you started, there was Kit and who, you know, like now there's so many people.
Kit from
events.
in our network was the only one that I can think of my head. I go, yeah, he was the OG. Do you know what I mean? Like he smashed it.
#1 events.
Yeah, no once. It was good. I mean, and it's nice to look back at these journeys. And I always say to everyone, I don't see any of you as my competition. You're all my peers. Like, we might have to work with each other, so why work against each other? I love working with people. I love working with... I don't see anybody as my competition. I look at my peers and go, right, I want to learn off you. You're doing something different to me. How can I learn off you? How can you teach me something new? Yeah? Or how do you work differently? Like, you might do your marketing strategy different to me. I work with guys in the UK and the way they market, I'm like, wow. You're so different to how we do it here. We're still like 1990s sometimes the way we market our events. They're ahead of the game. Like, and so you just look at each other and go, look, we're all here to make the same food at the end of the day. Let's just work together and see if that can make it even better. Like, there's nothing wrong with collaborations.
I agree. So with your vision of how you want Be More to be, obviously you're already attacking it very well. Obviously having things like the fan zone, going from brunches, like you said, to doing things like having Arsenal here. What's your strategy if you have one at all?
From a personal point of view, my biggest strategy, and I say this to everyone, if you're new to Dubai, if you've been here for a long time, networking is so important. I do so much stuff, and that's why so many people know me, because I just network and I give everybody the time of day. Sometimes you might think, oh, it's a bit rude because I'm rushing around at an event, but I'll always go back and apologise. I feel like I was that. But I always try and help people out. I always try and look at growing the network. That's why I do the Arsenal Supporters Club. I don't make money off Arsenal Supporters Club. I do it because I love Arsenal, but it opens network to meet so many different people. When someone moves to Dubai, I get a message, hi, I've just moved to Dubai. Oh, welcome to Dubai. Like, come and watch the football. Like, and then they say to me, oh, do you know this? Why not share your 15 years of experience? I mean, give them something. Like, make people feel as welcome as you got made welcome. Doing the England, again, obviously England is different because that's obviously a business model. But again, it's growing that database. As me, everyone knows me, I'm Mr. England. So yeah, networking is for me is so important. Obviously the golf as well, the Golf Society. Always network, always give people time of day from a personal point of view. But on my business, the focus right now and the vision is I've always wanted Be More Than to be this 360 solution when it comes to everything to do with events, nightlife, entertainment and hospitality. That's what we're trying to get the business to right now. So we've got the 4 divisions currently. Got Be More Than Events, which is solely our own events. So that's our Garage Nations, R&B Lovers, the fan zones, booking international artists. We've got a few other ideas that we're looking at, bringing some brands over. Can't mention too much right now. But yeah, we're working with some big brands in the UK that want to come here, doing the Formula One, that kind of stuff. So it's everything we own. Then we've got Be More Than Agency, which is predominantly working on B2B. So that's going into bars, restaurants that either need some events consultancy or concept creations. They might go, I need a brunch, can you create it? I need a dinner show, I need to create it. Or can you just look at our whole event strategy and come up with all the concepts for us. We do that.
And when you say create it, like just create the concept and then let them execute, or do you execute it for them
Well,
too?
we do 3 different types of packages basically. We go there, buy the brand off us, see you later, good luck. We do the whole shebang where we offer the marketing support as well, or we look at a partnership sometimes if we think the brand's strong enough as well. So we do that kind of stuff. We do corporate events. Been smashing out a lot of corporate events recently, which is really, really cool. Brand activation. I worked with like TCL and Monster Energy and all these big brands we've been working with recently to do stuff. So yeah, that's really good. The entertainment, obviously, Giovanni, you've done a few things with us, like the Rugby Sevens, Formula One, Dubai World Cup, working on the entertainment side, which is really, really just blown up. Like the fact that we don't really see it we never saw it as one of our main business models, but out of nowhere, we're working on the biggest events. We supplied entertainment, Formula One, Rugby Sevens, and Dubai World Cup all within last year, which you can't get much bigger events really.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at how we elevate that side. And then our brand new side of the business, which is More for Families, which has just gone live this year, 1st of January. Got our first event on the Sunday, 23rd of Feb, at Sundays on the Green, Sundays on the Lawn, sorry, get the name right. Sundays on the Lawn at Trump. And we did the family brunches that we did in the background, Imagination and Once Upon a Brunch. So we're really going to go focus on the families. But the reason...
Congratulations. This all
it's-
sounds
Yeah, it's
like
good.
really
It's like,
amazing.
I don't want to keep like bang, 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 but yeah, it's the vision is getting there slowly but surely. Like the reason I set the family side up was because I've been here 15 years. All the people that I marketed to before have now got kids.
Yeah.
So I'm
Makes
like,
sense.
now I can reuse that network and go, well, look, you don't want to come to Garage Nation, but here you go. Why don't you come to a family brunch?
And there are like a lot of people that don't live in Dubai, they don't realize there's an abundance of families here that
Yeah.
are looking for something like this to do. So I think it is amazing.
But-
you keep saying we though, and I'm interested because when we spoke before, you just said you stripped everything back and it was
Yeah.
just you. So who is we?
Yeah.
And how did you build back up to we?
Okay, so I'm glad you put that in because I wanted to make sure that these guys are all included as well. So in the background, I've also made that mindset of to elevate the business. I got to now bring a team on board. So I've been working in the background to grow the team, taking on 2 new business partners. Josh, who quite a few people know, he's worked with quite a lot of brands in the UK. He's got his own Tea Live Festival in the UK. He works with Defected. He works with all the big brands. He's got his own brands, La Fiesta, all this sort of stuff. He's moved over, so me and him are now partners. He's going to come in and oversee the partnership on Be More Than Group, but predominantly run Be More Than Events. He's going to be the events director for them. And then I've got Blake. She's coming in to run the More for Families. And then we've now just brought in a whole new team. So we've been interviewing since January. So we've just brought a whole new team. So we're now a team of 8 of us. Got a new office.
I was about to say, what, you still got this? You gone for the swanky office like last time? Or
We've done a very smart move. I can't say too much because obviously I don't want people nicking my ideas, but we've collaborated with somebody, which we'll announce soon. We're going to do a big announcement about it. We'll probably do like an open evening, but we've taken a partnership with a big event space, which is going to help elevate not just us as a business, but also the industry as well. So there's going to be a lot of options for people anyone that I know that works within this sector. We're now basically about to offer multiple services to them, and it's all within our office space as well. So that's all to come. So yeah, there's been a lot going on.
So what? It's interesting because I know from what I've seen of Be More, I can't see Be More without seeing Kieran.
Yeah.
So like your personal brand is very much attached to Be More as Be More Than Events, the agency, etc. Now you've got these business partners on board. What's your vision and your goal in terms of your personal brand? Are you looking to kind of step back a little bit, or are you still hoping to kind of be the face of the brand?
Well, look, it's always nice to keep the brand personal because obviously I've got 15 years in Dubai. People know me as Kieran. Do you know what I mean? At the moment, the problem is that it's Kieran provides Be More Than. I now need to change that strategy. So my personal brand will still go very strong under Kieran. I'll still do all my other things, the radio and all this kind of stuff, and my own personal bits and bobs that I do. But the strategy now, will be coming, is that the brand needs to sell itself. I'll still be advertising my business through my own page, but Be More Than the company will be selling it. So everyone's going to get involved.
Because you find people often when they're coming to Be More, they're like, oh, but I want Kieran.
Yeah. The company's got to start selling itself. Because I'm very, very lucky and very fortunate because of my network. Everything's organic. It's all done through referrals or recommendations because I've worked with people before, or it might be a friend. I mean, we all scratch each other's back, and that's great. That will still come in, but I want the company to also start generating its own organic leads, and I want these guys to have their moment to shine. For me, I don't see hierarchies. We're all the same thing. At the end of the day, we have one goal. This event needs to be executed. We're all on a level playing field. Yeah, obviously someone has to be a decision maker, but for me, we all sit around one table and we all get the job done.
It's actually a mad journey. You've gone from being like Billy Big Bollocks, like I can do this all by myself, and then having to crash and build this phoenix out of it. Do you know what I mean? Like now you have all these different sections, and it's like, wow, like you've come so far. At what point, when you're building back up, was there a stage where you kind of fell down again and have to like climb back up?
The fall down was that year, 2023 was that year where obviously the big changes started happening. I was like burning the cash, so that was my fall down, and that's why I took it on my own, because I didn't want it to be Billy Big Bollocks with I've got this big shiny company. It was I need to follow my dreams and get realigned and understand what I actually want from this brand and what.
But how did you do that? How, like, I feel like lots of people just kind of throw it out there, because I know what you mean. Like, we need to realign with ourselves. We need to understand what we want. But where do you even begin when you're trying to do that?
You got to evaluate everything. You got to look at what works, what doesn't work as well. And Giovanni will probably back me up on this. The weekly stuff in Dubai, if we're focused on the event stuff, being on events, the weekly stuff in Dubai has just got so hard. So I've made the decision of that. I wanted to Be More Than Events out of that scene and focus more on the activation. So rather than trying to do 52 events a year, I'm only going to do 12, yeah? And that strategy helped me. Obviously, I had to as well, because I'm a one-man band. I can't do 52 weeks and live. So stripping it back to just focus on key events. And now people, tell me right or wrong, mate, but I think people now see Be More Than Events more as the activation events brand, rather than your go-to for the weekly stuff. I've moved away from it, kind of thing. So that was the big pinnacle. And just looking at the market and understanding what you want to do, like what excites you. You've got to love this industry. That's the one thing I will say. You can't wing events. You can't like just go with it and go, I'm happy to just get on with it. You've got to live, breathe, and actually, like, it's got to run through your veins. I think everybody knows I literally live and breathe this industry.
Yeah, you can definitely see
live
that
and
you're
breathe it.
a passionate person when it comes to the event space out here.
I love anything. Like, I'm working on some things in the background that will benefit the industry as well. Like, I've got ideas that will help people get paid better and help people market themselves in entertainment. Like, I've got so many things that we're working on in the background because I want to help people in the industry as well. Do you know what I mean? Not just put on great events. So,
you mentioned at the beginning that like family is very important to you. Obviously, being in Dubai, most of your family, correct me if I'm wrong, are still in the UK.
Yep, all of them. Yeah.
How do you find navigating that relationship from being in a different country? And because actually one thing I saw on your Instagram, I think it was maybe like a year ago, and it always makes me like laugh when I think about it. Is I think you're like your brother or something. You must have you did a race or something. Like I don't know if they were visiting Dubai.
Oh no, that's my best mate Jamie, who everyone thinks is my brother because he actually looks more like my brother than my actual brother.
Yeah. But
because me and Jamie literally look like twins, and my brother's 6'4". And obviously I'm short and stumpy, so Jamie, that's
you know what I'm talking
mate.
about, right? Like, so
we were racing at Arabian Ranches. Yeah, I tripped him up.
And you tripped him up. You didn't even think about trying to win the race. It was like, when your marks get set, go, and he turned around and stuck his leg out.
But family is important on both sides. So I've got my real blood family, but then you make family in Dubai, and I'm sure you've all got people that you would say, you're not my mate, you're my brother, you're not my friend, you're my sister. Yeah, I've got older ladies that I joke and call them mother because they've been with me through thick and thin. The lady I just worked with on Taste of Dubai on the weekend, Anju, she took me under her wing when I went to. I missed that out actually. That was my first job, Taste of Dubai, 2013, 2016, while I was doing G-List in the background. But anyway, Anju, she's the director of MENA, and I always call her mother because she literally took me under my wing when I first moved into that company. So you have two sides of family, but going back to the family in the UK, it's bloody hard. But we're all living the same. We all chose to get on the plane. We all, and that's where you have to make it work. Because what's the point? People that live paycheck to paycheck and don't have any goals or any aspirations, like, go home. Because what's the point? You want to be in the sun? Like, you can get sun anywhere. Go. You can take a holiday to Spain every weekend if you want, but still live with your family. It's a big thing, and I think the biggest challenge is when key moments happen in life. You lose family members, people have babies. Like I went home for the first time this Christmas for 5 or 6 years. So obviously I'll go back in the summer, but the first Christmas with my nephew, since he was like a proper baby, one. So he was loving it. Like, it was cute. He gave me a big cuddle. I was like, what's your favourite present for Christmas? And he was like, you coming home. Oh. I was like, it gives me goosebumps now. It's just like, yeah, it's hard.
I really struggle sometimes because so much is happening in Dubai. When you're trying to juggle so many things, it's like, what's actually really important?
Is
it more important for me to go home now and see these
deep,
people?
Man.
Sorry. It is, but that is one of the things.
But it's that's the realness, you know.
And people don't talk about it enough because it's like, actually, everything that you've spoken about today is absolutely amazing. You have clearly accomplished so much, and you have so much more that you're doing and to give, not only to the events that you're doing, but to help other professionals within the industry, which is amazing. But then it's like, well, what's more important though? Because my family are right there.
What's it for?
Yeah. And that is the thing. That is my biggest drive. And one of the proudest things is when your mum and your dad, every time you go home, they tell you how proud you are, and you get a little message. Even just something like picking up an award, and you just send it to your family in the family group chat. We've got a family group chat. Obviously, that all came from COVID as well. But I just put everything in there, and it's just you stay connected with people, and it is hard. And you have to look at what's your motivation. And my motivation is my partner here now, but also my family. Every day, I just want to make sure that I've sacrificed them getting old or losing out on key moments and stuff, but I'm making them proud at the same time.
Yeah, and that must mean a lot to you in particular, because at the beginning you talked of like when you got bullied as a child, and your dad was like, "No, this ain't gonna be my son." And then now, you know, for you to come home, I saw like you went and watched the Arsenal with him and stuff, and you know, for him to say like he's proud of you, that must really.
And that's
be
what I'm
like
saying. Things like that, like my connection with the Arsenal, give me the opportunity to take my dad, who made me an Arsenal fan, to the Emirates in a box, meet Liam Brady, and have a proper father and son moment. Like, my brother came with me to Chelsea, so he was like, and my mum's Tottenham.
My dad's Tottenham as well, so yeah. I get it.
So to have that magic moment, like that picture I've got of me and him, arms around each other, they're memories that you go, it's all worth it. That's the realness of it all. All this materialistic stuff and having the parties and making the money, it doesn't mean anything without those little magical moments that you have at the end of it.
Yeah, 100%. And that comes with the connections that you made. Like, I feel, like you said, networking is really key. It's not just about the money or the party, but actually how you're making people feel and the impact you're having on their lives. So it's massive. I'm really excited to see, like, you've kind of like touched on a few things where you're like, I can't talk too much about that right now. I'm like, but I want to know. I'm going to have to be following closely to keep updated,
the journey.
You know?
There's going to be a lot of changes.
And what's next for you within, obviously you talked about the team and stuff, but what can you tell us in terms of the next 12 months? Like January 2025, you mentioned obviously getting a new car, etc. But what else is on the horizon for you?
Personal goals, obviously. Me and the missus want to buy a place together. That's a big one. I'm just hoping the prices come down by the end of the year, because it's an absolute joke at the moment. Like obviously there's a few other personal things she probably won't want me to say. But my personal development on my side, I'd love to obviously do a few more of these kind of opportunities. I'm throwing myself in the radio show at the moment, which is great, because I get an opportunity to meet new people. I want to start doing more hosting and MCing work as well, to keep working that portfolio. And then just want to work with good brands. That's the thing. Like, if anyone wants to have an opportunity to work together, just reach out to me, because if you've got a good idea and you need a bit of support on executing it, I'm always open to listening to those conversations.
Yeah,
nice.
Exciting. Really exciting. I know we touched on like downfall and things like that, but I just wanted to quickly ask you, in terms of events in general, now especially because you're working on more so activations, and again, not instead of doing the 52 events, you're working on 12 or what have you. What happens when the event doesn't go to plan?
In what way?
Well, in any which way. Like, it could be, I was talking to you earlier about ticket sales, so it could be that kind of thing, or it could be production elements are not coming into play, or the quality of them is absolutely tragic and it can't be used, but you need it now. So all of those kinds of things. Obviously, I work in events as well in a different way to you and Jev, but sometimes, like, to work in events, you have to be able to think on the spot and you have to be able to adapt quickly. and obviously ensure that your client doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
So how do you do this?
I always say, and Ben, who's the videographer, because he films you quite a bit, he'll laugh. Improvisation is the key to being a successful event manager. The biggest challenge is when people don't turn up, but you kind of know. I mean, if you've been doing this a long time, you can kind of recognise the patterns and go, yeah, we're about to have a train wreck here. So start inviting your mates for free and hope for the best. But operationally, I've had everything you can possibly think of. Power carts, things going up, items not turning up. We had a funny one tomorrow. We'll laugh at this. We did a staff party and we ordered an item and it was meant to be 6 foot and it came 3 foot. So I was like, well, what should we do with that? Like, there's not really a lot I can do about that. You just have to improvise. You have to change your mindset and remember what you see, what I see, they don't see. Yeah. We, as events people, are perfectionists. So we think they're going to notice that is not the right plant. They don't know what plant you ordered. Yeah. So how are they going to know that's the wrong plant? Yeah, you just got to look at making things shiny on the outside for the consumer. What goes on behind the scenes? Never let it be known. Never let anyone see it, and just literally just try and smooth that process. Think on your feet. Find a solution. Like I said to you earlier, don't panic. This is the quick solution. It makes you look good, and you're catering for the other opportunity as well. And that's the key for it. Is just improvise and don't panic.
Quick fire. If you could describe the Dubai nightlife in 3 words.
In 3 words, I can tell you one.
Go on.
Fucked.
So what, you think it's? Do you think it's like dire?
It's not the same. Let's be honest. It's not the same, but that's because of the amount of people that are here now, and obviously the amount of bars and restaurants. It's very, very, very saturated. It's a shame because you've lost that promoter mentality that people have their following. Do you know what I mean? That homegrown talent on the promoter level's kind of gone now. Like when we first set out, we all had our own circles. Yeah, Love Parties put on an event. We had 10 promoters. We'd fill that venue just from our own friends. Yeah. Now I think because of the amount of money that's been thrown into the industry, it's very, very hard. You don't know what's going. It's a game of chess. Like we literally have on our project management system, we have every single thing. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's black coffee to Robbie Williams to the orchestra going on, whatever. But just so we can evaluate and look at what's going. And when I show you that list, it is bananas. It's bananas what's going on. You've got 6, 7 concerts going on the same day, on the same weekend. You don't even have that in London.
Yeah.
No.
And that
there's
for
not
me,
enough people to fill out all of these venues.
No,
Saturated.
there's not enough people. And the problem is that then what that's happened is the smaller brands are obviously struggling. So for me, I always say it, and I've said it a few times, is that I think now it's either you take a new venue on, so you've got that natural pull from something new and shiny. You create something niche, so it's like something unique that people go, okay, that's specific. Or you have to have your own kind of crowd that right, that's my target that I'm marketing to. I'm not trying to step outside that. So a bit like obviously me moving into the family stuff. I know the market, I know what I'm doing. But trying to do a generic house event like I had above, for example, it just got swallowed up when West Beach opened. I want to bring it back, but how, I don't know. But like this is just a prime example. Smashed it during COVID. Paros, queues going out the door. Number 1 place to be for a house music event on a weekend. West Beach Open, Bosch. Like, it's crazy. You've got B Beach battling with, you've got Player Pasha, you've got Bohemia,
Soho,
Surf. Like, it's crazy the money that these guys are throwing. Ushuaia, like, and then you look at all the festivals that are coming for Q4 as well. So yeah, it's for me now. I think the mindset of people are save myself for the big events. I'll rather stay in and I'll go to that festival. That's my one weekend that month that I'm going to spend. People are very fitness focused now as well. Yeah. And this new crowd, the new school kids that are coming over, they don't party like we do either. They just don't.
That's true.
They just don't party like we do. So like
I don't even party anymore. That's like, and I think a lot of my friends who I've been here like just under 9 years now, I was out all the time. Number 1 events, I was there.
Yeah.
Now I don't even barely come to your events.
You messaged me the other day. She was like, "Oh, she went to Black Coffee in Abu Dhabi," and she was like, "Yeah, Like, I'm done with it.
I'm done.
But it's not just that. Like, you remember before COVID, everyone used to go out on a Saturday and drop 1,000 dirhams, 2,000 dirhams, without even thinking about it. We go to a brunch, we go to an after brunch party, and then we go to a club. And you do it every weekend without even thinking. It was just part of your routine.
But it was
Now
also
that
a
kind
great
of
place to network.
Yeah.
The networking capabilities in Dubai now, there's so much more, like in the fitness industry, like you're saying. There's just so many. There's so many ways to meet other people without having to have a drink in your hand and listening to loud music. Whereas before, when we were first here, there wasn't all of those other opportunities. If I wanted to spark up a conversation with someone random in the gym, they'd be like...
There's a lot more community stuff in fitness now.
There's community stuff. Look, I think now everyone wants to go to beach clubs. I think daytime partying is what's killed the nighttime scene. So you either go out to a big artist in the night, or you go out the daytime. So you do daytime partying. Brunches, there's obviously a handful that still do very, very well. But it's not like before where every single venue was doing well. It's only niche ones now, or the certain ones that do. The festival is obviously where it's going, the money, but just I think the mindset, like this coffee club scene that's coming. Yeah. Like, what's going on here? We've got DJs playing now, people drinking coffees. It's like...
But it's like
But
you
I
said,
think it's
thinking of something new and niche, that is new and niche.
Yeah.
And I think also as well, for us, it's also an age generation thing as well. As like, we're getting older. So it's like what we would have done 10 years ago is probably not what we're going to be doing today.
Yeah, but those people that are 10 years younger than us are not doing what we would have done 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing. Like, it's not just up, but it's not just Dubai, it's worldwide.
Yeah.
It's worldwide, the whole thing's changed. COVID changed everything in every single mechanism from this. The world's just gone crazy. And it's a shame because there's a lot of really cool little clubs that were here back in the day. I have some good memories. I mean, Mahikis, Mavidas, The Acts, Cirque du Soleil, like Cirque du Soleil, sorry, like all these quirky little places. And obviously the big boys came in. But even the big boys, there's no real clubs now apart from Soho. White's not about anymore.
No.
It's
It's
beach
true.
clubs. The clubs are the beach clubs,
Yeah.
really. So, yeah, it's tough. It's very, very tough. But one thing I can be proud of, pat myself on the back, that I've stuck at it. I'm still
grown.
plugging through.
Yeah.
It's like you've, from 2008 to now, you've kind of navigated your way through, tried your hand at different things, and now it seems like you've finally found what it is that you were meant to do.
I know exactly the path I want this business to be on, and I know the whole time frame of when we're adding the next sections in. And we've got ideas to add the recruitment service in. We've got loads of different things that we're looking to bring to the business and handpick the right people, where we want to go. We want to take the brand to Saudi. Like, there's so much stuff to do.
Yeah, no, nice, man. No, it's been great having you on the podcast.
That's
man.
been good.
Long time in the making, 3 months. We've been trying to get you on, but you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm glad I took the time to sit down with you guys. Really, really good. I think I've opened up with you guys more than any other podcast I've ever been on. So
See, I told you I was going to get you back, didn't I? You came for me at the beginning, and I was like, don't worry, I'm going to make a tear fall for you. But we also have a tradition at the end of the podcast where we ask our guests the same question, and that question is, if you could create one rule for everyone in the world to follow, what would it be and why?
one rule. I'd have to just go back to be kind and network. Networking is network with everybody and be kind to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. And you might as well chuck out the socials for your business and stuff, like where people can.
Yeah, so just, if you want to give us a follow, there's brand new pages coming up soon. We'll have the Be More Than group page, Be More Than Events, Be More Than Agency, Be More Than Entertainment, and More for Families.
Yeah.
And follow me, follow Kieran.
Yeah, nice one. Mate, Kieran, thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.